Roar. Hold on tight.
Batman speaking. Warning all of you to brace yourselves for big news.
The biggest.
Tell them, Robin.
Holy superlatives, Batman. It's really exciting. Soon, very soon.
This is real, brother. This is wrestling.
Out of the ring in just a moment or two for more exciting fucking action.
Kong Brody.
The main event, an Australian tag team match, one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Introducing from Wellington, New Zealand, weighing 235 pounds, former world's heavyweight champion, Pat O'Connor. From Oakland, California, weighing 249 pounds, Rocky Johnson. From Santa Fe, New Mexico, weighing 288 pounds, King Kong Brody. And from Portland, Oregon, weighing 265 pounds, Ken Patera, referee Eddie Smith and Lee Warren.
Mickey Garagiola got out of that ring, didn't he? Can't say as I blame him. It's King Kong Brody and Ken Patera against Rocky Johnson and Pat O'Connor. What an explosive combination this can be. Patera and Brody with a brief conference. Rocky Johnson starting for his combination. It'll be Johnson against Patera. Johnson begins moving, grooving, as he likes to describe it. Patera almost retreats to the corner where O'Connor is. Patera says, wait a minute. Patera and Johnson tie up. Johnson spins Patera along the ropes. Clean break from Rocky Johnson. Side headlock by Patera on Johnson. Rocky comes out with a wrist lock on Ken Patera. Might have a chance for a little test of strength here between Rocky Johnson and Ken Patera. Johnson leaning into that wrist. Patera trying to get in position where he can stretch out that arm and maybe put Rocky Johnson back. Now Patera braces himself. The test of strength begins between Patera and Johnson. King Kong Brody bending forward on this side of the ring. Referee Lee Warren spots him and shakes a cautioning finger at Brody. Johnson Leaning into Patera. Patera coming back. Oh, Patera grabs the hair to throw Johnson down. Johnson puts Patera into retreat. Eddie Smith counts Patera off the ropes, and Patera tags King Kong Brody. It's now Brody versus Johnson. Rocky Johnson flexing his arm. He felt the might that Ken Patera has. Brody visits briefly with Patera. A very cautious start, as could be expected with two teams of this high caliber. Feeling each other out. Brody and Johnson almost locked fingers, and then Brody stepped back. And King Kong was taking a look at the moving feet of Rocky and was a little leery. Now both hands are locked. Rocky Johnson and King Kong Brody match their muscle against one another. Brody groaning as he tries to get the advantage over Rocky Johnson. Johnson trying to get something moving. Steps over. Cartwheels backwards. Comes up with a wrist lock on King Kong Brody, and Brody struggles to keep his feet. Brody manages to stay on his feet, even though in the wrist lock of Rocky Johnson. Brody goes to one knee. Johnson leans into that wrist lock. Brody gets straightened up against Johnson. Rocky's speed certainly paid off there. His agility, his ability to move. Brody reaching for the tights of Rocky Johnson. Johnson grabs Patera and Brody's head, and Johnson bangs the heads of Patera and Brody together. Rocky Johnson causing a meeting of the minds, and Brody dives outside the ring. Brody stalks around the ring in anger. Patera sneaking in the ring, trying to come up behind Johnson, and Rocky Johnson chases Patera back to his corner. Brody with a side headlock on Rocky Johnson. Brody reaches out to tag Ken Patera. Patera with a kick to the chest of Johnson, and then it's Patera with the side headlock, tossing Johnson over into the mat. Patera squeezing the head of Rocky Johnson. A lot of people in the wrestling world are keeping an eye on what happens in this tag match. Four top contenders for the World Heavyweight Championship right here. A former world champion among them. Patera leaning in on top of Johnson, and that makes Eddie Smith watch carefully Johnson's shoulders, that they're not trapped to the mat.
Five minutes have passed, 15 minutes left.
5 minutes have passed in the main event. It's Pat O'Connor and Rocky Johnson against Ken Patera and King Kong Brody. Patera and Johnson in that ring right now. Flying tackle by Patera. Johnson up quickly. He dives beneath Patera. Up over the top goes Rocky Johnson, and Patera goes flying. Johnson to his feet. Patera pushed to the corner. Tag is made to the Irishman, Pat O'Connor. O'Connor pounds on the head of Patera. Patera whipped into the ropes. O'Connor with the sleeper. O'Connor with the sleeper hold on Ken Patera. Here comes Brody to the ring, and he goes to work on the face of O'Connor. Patera hooks the head of O'Connor. Tag made to King Kong Brody. Patera hangs on to O'Connor. Brody with a front face lock on O'Connor. And Brody cries out. Brody putting the pressure into the neck of O'Connor. O'Connor forced down to his knees. Eddie Smith checking the front face lock is legal. It's not on the throat. There's your man down, yells Patera to Rocky Johnson. O'Connor Trying to pop the head out. Trying to get loose from King Kong Brody, or better yet, get over and make a tag with Rocky Johnson. Johnson leaning into that ring. Brody uses his power to shove O'Connor back toward the corner where powerful Ken Patera looms. The tag made to Patera. Patera locks O'Connor's head and yanks him right over the top. Count him, yells Patera. O'Connor slithers away. Patera moves behind O'Connor and hooks the head. With those big burly forearms pushed into O'Connor's cheeks, O'Connor's in a difficult position. O'Connor trying to pull the hands of Patera apart. Just can't do it. Too much strength. The crowd begins to yell and chant for O'Connor. Brody doesn't like the yelling and he complains to the referee. O'Connor trying to straighten up. If he can get into a standing position, he might have a better opportunity to counter. Unless he could reach back and get Patera's leg. Pat reaches up for the head of Patera, trying to pull him over the top. Patera just won't budge. Too strong, too strong. O'Connor pulled down into sitting position by muscular Ken Patera. He's gone, yells Patera. There's your sleeper hold, yells Patera. Ken Patera, possibly the world's strongest human, squeezing the head of Pat O'Connor. Patera, so far really the absolute best in the super heavyweight division that America has turned out in weightlifting. He beat them all from all sorts of countries. King Kong Brody yells at Mickey Garagiola to ring the bell. Ring the bell, yells Brody, because he feels that O'Connor is out and that victory should belong to Patera and Brody. But O'Connor still has life. He's still kicking about.
I can't move. The guy's scaring me. I don't sleep for nothing.
Well, something happened to you. I thought you were paralyzed.
Wouldn't you? He's not only a big guy, but he's up on top of the ring looking down at me.
King Kong Brody is an impressive sight from any angle. O'Connor trying to get over to Rocky Johnson. Brody started to step into the ring. Lee Warren stopped him. The tag rope came loose. Brody says, "Who, me? I didn't do that." Ken Patera working on the head of former world champion Pat O'Connor. O'Connor will need all of his cunning to counter the muscle of Patera. O'Connor kicks free Patera right back on top. O'Connor cradles Patera. Count of one. Patera pops loose. Patera grabs ahead again. Pat O'Connor taking punishment at the hands of Patera. And with Patera's strength, that punishment is particularly effective. O'Connor lifts Patera off his feet. And O'Connor walks his way toward Rocky Johnson and makes a tag. Here comes Rocky Johnson.
10 minutes have passed, 10 minutes left.
King Kong Brody's in the ring and Johnson's after him. He's after Patera. Johnson grabs both men and again rams their heads together. O'Connor's in the ring and after Brody, all four men. In that ring, Johnson backs Patera to one corner. O'Connor grabs Brody, and Brody and Patera slam together. A tremendous collision. Brody takes a punch to the head from Rocky Johnson. Patera retreats to the ropes. Brody yanks the tag rope loose. Brody outside the ring, he has the tag rope. Brody trying to get after Rocky Johnson. Johnson, I think, saw what had happened, and Lee Warren regains the tag rope. King Kong Brody nearly went on a rampage right there. Brody nearly blew up, nearly exploded. Patera went for the leg of Rocky Johnson. Rocky stepped back. Johnson looks at Brody and gestures at him. "I'll take you too. It doesn't matter to me," says Rocky Johnson. Brody with a long look at Pat O'Connor. A tough Hard-fought match. There's the full Nelson by Johnson. O'Connor goes up in the ropes so he gets some leverage. He wants to blast away at Brody. Brody steps into the ropes. Johnson's going to have to give up the full Nelson. The crowd boos at King Kong Brody. Brody and Johnson. It's Johnson with the side headlock on King Kong. Brody forcing Johnson to the ropes. The referee trying to get Brody back. Brody with a smash to the midsection of Rocky Johnson. And then Brody with a forearm smash to the back. Down goes Rocky Johnson. Brody standing on the throat of Rocky Johnson, using the ropes for leverage. Most guys can't even budge those cables. Brody lifted the bottom one nearly to the top one. Ollie Hofstetter, the floor director, shaking his head. He knows how tightly those cables are in there. Most people can hardly move them. And Brody made it look like a piece of string. Patera pulls Johnson to the corner. Now Brody has the tag rope around Rocky Johnson's throat. Brody strangling Johnson with that tag rope. Patera to the attack. Patera pounding on the midsection of Johnson and then on the head. Now Patera keeping that tag rope around the throat of Rocky Johnson. Brody back on the assault now. Brody and Patera really opening up now as Rocky Johnson is trapped in the corner. Patera strangling and Brody strangling Johnson. Here comes O'Connor to help his partner. The referees chase O'Connor back to where he belongs. Brody strangling Johnson. Johnson suspended over those top ropes. Brody going outside the ring. Johnson falling to the floor. Brody grabs Johnson. And Brody with a hard forearm smash to Rocky Johnson. Brody outside the ring grabs one of the ropes that are holding the ring together. Now Brody strangling Johnson with one of the outside ropes. Brody gone berserk as Rocky Johnson outside the ring. Brody again strangling Rocky. King Kong Brody watching Rocky Johnson looking for an opening. Brody again with that rope strangling Rocky Johnson. Eddie Smith trying to get Brody back. As soon as Brody retreats, it's Patera on the attack. Brody and Patera, a wrecking crew. Brody grabs the chair. Brody grabs the chair and drives the chair into the throat of Rocky Johnson. Brody driving the chair into the throat of Rocky Johnson. O'Connor trying to pull Johnson out of that corner. Rocky Johnson trying to fight back against Patera. Johnson pounding on Patera's stomach. Rocky Johnson goes through the legs of Patera and tags Pat O'Connor.
15 minutes have elapsed, 5 minutes left.
5 minutes remaining as Pat O'Connor pounds on Patera. Patera hurled across the ring and into the buckles. O'Connor covers Patera. Count of one and Patera gets away. O'Connor with a vicious right. O'Connor with the sleeper. Patera gets into the ropes quickly. Patera rolls outside the ring. Rocky Johnson deserves all sorts of credit for taking all that punishment and still being able to fight his way out of the corner and tag O'Connor. Now Rocky gets a chance to rest, and he needed that. Patera wants to talk over a little strategy with Brody. Tag made, or was there a tag made? I think Brody's just adding his 2 cents worth. Arm drag by O'Connor on Patera. Patera cries out as O'Connor stretches the arm of Ken Patera. Brody is pacing up and down that apron. finally stops. Tag made to Rocky Johnson. You can bet Rocky'd love to do some damage right here. O'Connor enjoying the action as Johnson pounds away on the elbow and bicep of Ken Patera. Johnson going right after Patera's strength. And then Rocky bends back on the wrist, bending it over his own knee. Johnson steps across the face of Ken Patera.
3 minutes left, 3 minutes.
The knee lift by Patera. Johnson bounced off the ropes. Patera caught in the sunset flip. The sunset flip by Rocky Johnson. Patera breaks free. Front rolling cradle by Patera. Good move by Patera. Johnson breaks free. Johnson with the headbutt. The headbutt by Rocky Johnson. A second headbutt by Johnson. Down goes Patera. He wants to tag Brody, and Brody ignores the hand. Brody ignoring the outstretched hand of Ken Patera. Finally, Brody does make that tag, but it was a hesitant tag at best. Headbutt by Johnson spins King Kong Brody. Hard right again. Brody takes his lumps from Rocky Johnson. Another punch from Rocky Johnson. Johnson pounds on King Kong Brody. And then Johnson gouges Brody's eyes. O'Connor kicks Brody in the stomach. Brody taking his lumps from O'Connor and Johnson. Johnson scores. And then Brody goes to the eyes of Rocky Johnson. Johnson dumps Brody. Roll up cradle. Count of 1, 2, and then Johnson is powered away by King Kong Brody, who lands a punch to the stomach and a chop to the throat by King Kong Brody. Knee drop by Brody. He covers Johnson. Johnson lifts Brody off. Give me the knee, yells Brody to Ken Patera.
1 minute left, 1 minute.
1 minute remaining as Brody is pitched into O'Connor. Patera is after Rocky Johnson. I think a tag was made to O'Connor. Patera caught in that corner. Doesn't Brody belong in the ring? It's hard to tell with everything that's happening in this tag team warfare on Wrestling at the Chase. O'Connor with a sizzling right cross. Another one by Pat O'Connor to Ken Patera. Patera belted around by Pat O'Connor. O'Connor covers Patera. Brody was after O'Connor. Tag made to Brody. Brody pounds on O'Connor. Oh, Brody hits Patera! Brody caught Patera right in the stomach when O'Connor sidestepped. There's the bell. The time limit is over. And now Brody and Patera stand toe-to-toe and argue about what happened at the end of that match. The official verdict is a draw. And Brody and Patera take long looks at one another. What's wrong with you, yells Patera at Brody. The match is a draw. Let's make it official and hear from Mickey.
With time running out, referee Eddie Smith declares the match a draw.
King Kong Brody has always been something of a loner in the wrestling business, and that's why really I was a bit surprised that you agreed to take part in this tag match today on Wrestling at the Chase.
Surprised? You act like everybody else around here surprised about nothing. Let me tell you something. I want to make my point real clear. It's always been the same. King Kong Brody is for one thing and one thing only, and that's himself. I don't need no help from Ken Patera. I don't need help from Dickie Murdoch. I don't need help from nobody. And if Sam Muchnick wants to keep forcing me into a tag match, I'm going to warn him, too, that sooner or later, something's going to happen that you ain't going to have no control over, Muchnick. And in the end, a lot of your top wrestlers are going to pay for it. I'm telling you and everybody else out there, I like being alone. I don't need friends, and I don't need nobody out there telling me what to do. And the next time I end up in a tag match, and anybody lays one single hand on me, they're going to pay for it. That goes for Patera, Murdoch, or anybody else. I want to be left alone, and I don't want no one else to get close to me at no time.
I know just a few weeks ago now you had complained that you thought some promoters in wrestling were trying to protect certain wrestlers from you, that they were afraid they might be hurt, and you complained quite violently and quite loudly that there was a protection racket going on really for people like the Von Erichs, for Bruiser, for Race, for Flair.
Let me tell you something. Since I've been coming to St. Louis, I've wrestled every man they brought in here and beat every man. I've wrestled the Funks. I've wrestled the Briscoes. I've wrestled Race. I even beat the Giant at his own game. I beat him right in the middle of the ring in a battle royal. I've beat every man they put me in the ring with. And you know, and the people know, and I know, that there's not one man that comes to St. Louis to wrestle at this time, or not one man in the whole country that is big enough, that's got big enough pants, that he can come out here and put me on my back. And that includes your world champion. Not my world champion, your world champion.
Of course, the only time you have been pinned in St. Louis was by Harley Race.
Cut out the nonsense. Let's get it straight right now. When I wrestled Harley Race, the referee caused me to get beat, and everybody in the building saw it, and everybody knows it. I am rightfully the owner of that belt. You call him the world champion, and they can call him the world champion. I'm calling him a whipping board for King Kong Brody, because I'm going to whip his butt just like I've whipped everybody else I've set foot in this ring with.
And I guess that challenge that you made some time back that you'll take on any two opponents at one time still goes.
Nobody's ever come out here and wrestling at the Chase and beat two men as easy as I beat them. I've been wrestling two men my whole life, and it doesn't matter. You don't see me crying. You don't see me down on my knees begging about it. I go in there and take care of business, and business for me and me only, and that's the way I want it to stay.
King Kong Brody making it very clear he doesn't care for tag matches. He's his own tag team. And who are we to argue? We'll be back with more right after this.
This is the tattooed madman Psycho Mike, and if you don't want to get locked in a mental ward with me, you'll click like and hit subscribe now.
I've seen your stupid videos. Actually, I'm lying. I haven't seen your stupid videos. I've heard about your stupid videos. From me to you, go fuck yourself.
Here. There was no one bigger when it mattered less. The man with the perfect face for radio. The tattooed madman Psycho Mike.
Beta here. Check it out. You're listening to Psycho Mike's Masters of Mayhem Underground Radio. Broadcasting live, online, and worldwide from Cleveland, Ohio. That guy plays anything and everything. And he likes the rest of my family. Even Meg? So we can't be all bad. I bring to you the man with the perfect face for radio. The part-time crazy, 100% psycho, the tattooed madman, Psycho Mike!